Well, welcome to the Ashtoons studio, 11 o'clock on a Monday morning, November the 22nd, 2021. And it would appear as though I have been tagged by Destination Delight. And this is the Thanksgiving questionnaire, about 8 questions long, so let's get started. All right, question number 1. What is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? I'm going to have to say cranberry sauce, but not just the canned cranberry sauce, even though that stuff is delicious, but it's not really Thanksgiving if you think about it, because it's on the shelf all year round, and it's really incredibly lazy. All you have to do is open the can and shake it out and maybe cut it up or something. What I'm talking about is there's a way that you can buy a bag of raw cranberries, and then you can put them in a skillet and let them simmer and pop open, and then glaze them and put sugar in there and lemon or orange zest and spices and stuff like that. And when it's done, it is so much better than any of the canned cranberry sauce, but it's a rare thing. It's not a real traditional thing for people to make this, so it's a rare thing to actually find it at a Thanksgiving gathering, but if you do see it, you do find it, give it a try. Don't be afraid of it. It is delicious, and that's my favorite side dish. All right, next one. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? Well, while it might seem a little cliche, I'm going to have to say pumpkin pie, because it is very seasonal and very associated with the holiday. And then right below that, I'll have to say sweet potato pie. They're both delicious. They have that creamy texture. They rely heavily on the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and the allspice, and the brown sugar glaze, and they're fantastic. And I'm actually not one of those that says you have to spray on the whipped cream from the can on the top of it. That overfluffed, processed. Okay, I'm going to say I much prefer Cool Whip. Yeah. It might be just as processed as the whipped cream. Honestly, it's probably a little more artificial, but to me, it has so much better of a flavor to it. Get that pumpkin pie nice and chilled in the refrigerator, and then get your Cool Whip and spread it on there, and that is the proper Thanksgiving pumpkin pie experience. What are you doing? What are you doing up there, fella? Okay, whatever. Okay, next one. What does your ideal Thanksgiving outfit look like? Now, this question seems very out of place because Thanksgiving is really not associated with buying a new outfit or having a themed outfit for it. That's more of a Easter thing, you know, your Easter outfit. So I'm not sure exactly what that question is doing here. But if you really want to know, I'm going to say just about as casual as you can get. Flannels is a good one. I wouldn't say just walk around in a bathrobe and do that, but yeah, some nice comfortable flannels. There you go. My least favorite Thanksgiving dish. I'm probably going to get some hate for this one. I don't like stuffing. I've never cared for it. To me, it's just a big pan of gravy-soaked breadcrumbs. It's basically just there to fill you up, and you don't need that because you're eating Thanksgiving. You don't need a filler. You don't need anything filler because it's Thanksgiving. There's already going to be lots of food there. And also, I kind of feel like it was invented as a way to get rid of all of that white meat off of the turkey, because everybody likes the dark meat. At least I believe so. The dark meat's more, I'm going to use the N word, moist. And to me, it's a lot better. But that dry white meat, a lot of people are like, I'll just leave that there. So they're like, oh, we'll come up with a dish to get rid of that. We'll stuff it down in these breadcrumbs that we got left over, and then we'll just soak it in a bunch of cream of mushroom soup or gravy or something, and we'll throw in some onions and some spices, and voila, now we've got this filler dish that doesn't need to be there. I think if you really want to make stuffing good, you gotta throw in lots and lots of diced caramelized onions to try to appetize it up a little bit, because it's not a good, I don't like it. What do I love the most about Thanksgiving? Well, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and that's a big reason why I say no Christmas decorations or songs or anything until after Thanksgiving, because I don't want it to take any focus away from my favorite holiday. And that is because of the togetherness of it. It's not about trying to overdo each other with gift giving or any of that. It's just about, let's get around the table, let's catch up with each other, let's have togetherness. We're going to eat ourselves silly, and then afterwards we're going to find some kind of activity to do. We're going to go in the backyard and shoot some guns, shoot off some fireworks, play with the remote control cars, play video games together, probably break out some board games and card games, and for that full day, it's not about, I got to go to work soon. It's not about, I really should be working on something. It's not about, well, after I'm done with this, maybe I can get some of the lawn mowed. Nothing else. It's nothing else. It's just togetherness and thankfulness, relaxation, and then dessert. After you finally wake up from your food coma or whatever the kids' activity that has worn you out, and let's go see if there's some pumpkin pie left. It's beautiful. It's awesome. And to top it all off, the backdrop of the fall colors and that little bit of chill in the air, just kind of in the wind, rustling over everything. For that one day, it's great. Love it. It's a lot of things. But that answers the question. What's my favorite thing about Thanksgiving? What do you enjoy to do after the Thanksgiving meal? Now, I think I answered that a lot with the answer to the last question as well. And I think a lot of people watching this are going to be, oh, he's going to say football. No, I don't care about football at all. Not one little... Well, I like that it allows jocks to get out their aggression by hurting other jocks. That's the one positive thing about football, but I could care less about football. Yeah, well, I'm going to say of all the things that I said, it's anything that has to do with games. If it's, foosball or card games or even dominoes or some kind of board game or video game or something like that. I love when family that I haven't seen in a long time finally comes together and we're not just talking, comparing notes, we're actually playing a game together. There's something magical about that. I love that. What is your favorite Thanksgiving memory? Well, there was a time, I want to say I was in my early teens, when my family was still living just north of Atlanta, and we all traveled out here to East Tennessee to my grandmother's property. And she pretty much has this whole mountainside and top out in Rogersville somewhere. And at the time, she had been dabbling with becoming a minister. To the point where she had gathered up this group that kind of traveled around to different homes for their Sunday meetings throughout the month. And so hers was on the rotation quite often, and the group was big and affluent enough that she was able to gather donations enough to build an entire chapel on the backside of her property. And this was a serious chapel. It had the sanctuary with the pews and the podium and the sound system, a few Sunday school rooms, and even a social gathering type kitchen with lots of counter space, big evacuation hoods, I think a couple of stoves with big gas burners on them. But just before this, something had happened in the group where there was this big falling out, and so they had pretty much just abandoned the whole chapel. It was still just sitting there. So my grandmother hadn't at the time started filling it up with storage stuff. It was pretty much a whole church. So we pretty much decided to just prepare our Thanksgiving meal there. And to an early teens kid, there was something very cool about having all of this indoor space to move around in, with the big ceiling fans overhead, and you could play with the sound system and the microphones with all of those cushioned chairs to walk over and play with. You go into the back rooms and play. And we were preparing our meal in these big industrial gas burners, and we had all this extra counter space, and we were making dish after dish and setting them on the counter side by side like it was a big potluck. It's a potluck that was just for us in a big old church that was there just for at least for that year, just for us. And my grandmother was helping out in her own kind of weird way, and my great-grandmother was still alive, and she was kind of sitting there and making her kind of dopey old person observations and comments about what she was seeing us and watching us do. It all came together to just be this memory that I will never forget. It was great. I loved it. That's my favorite Thanksgiving memory. A little odd, but there you go. And last question, what am I thankful for? I am thankful, first and foremost, that my dad is going to be okay. My mom and dad just got through a big fight with the C-19, and my dad still hasn't gotten completely over it, but he's gotten past the curve and is coming back up on the other side. Still got a ways to go before he's back to 100%, but it does appear he's going to be okay, and I am very, very thankful for that. I'm also very thankful for my little kitty cat companion that you've seen jumping around here. That's little Dashel. I lost my other tabby earlier this year and went a few months with no pet at all, and as it turns out, it's just not good for me to be completely alone like that, and I really needed a new companion, and I just happened on him. It was a connection through a cousin that said they had some kittens. I went and picked him out, and he's turned out to be one of the best little companions I think I could have ever owned. I'm very thankful for that. I am also very thankful that I live in America, where the flag still stands for freedom, where every time they try to take it away, there's enough people that still believe in freedom over safety, to where they will stand shoulder to shoulder and say, this is not Australia, this is not Canada, this is not England, this is America, and we are Americans, and we believe in freedom, and I am thankful for that. And I will stand shoulder to shoulder with any of you out there that still believe in freedom. I am very thankful for 12 brave jurors in a certain court case in Wisconsin that said, in spite of all of the spin and all of the intimidation, we are still going to rule in favor of truth and freedom and the ability for everyone to be able to defend their person. And it is still America, and we can still do that. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I am also very thankful to our forefathers for putting checks and balances in place, so that if even a president slams his fist onto a podium and tries to issue an edict for everyone, then even he is accountable, and he can't make rulings like that without it going through the proper channels. I am thankful for our forefathers setting it up in that way, and I believe it is good, it is right, and it should remain that way. Okay, that is enough. Guys, if you've enjoyed this, make sure to indicate so by giving me the good old thumbs up like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to turn on notifications by hitting the bell, going over, and turning on all notifications. I will talk to you down in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Oh yeah, I was supposed to tag at least 3 people, so here we go. You have to forgive me if you're one of these 3 people and you've already been tagged. I don't stay completely up to date on everyone. So here we go. The first one I'm going to tag is the NTD Show, Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla, and the last one I'm going to tag is Cartoon Mark. So you 3 have now been tagged.